Well, good evening. Buck Wheeler here again, and first of all, I'd like to thank you for purchasing the Ultimate Easy Milker. I'm going to take you a step-by-step process. We'll unpack the bag or box just like you get it in the mail or UPS, and I'll go through with the do's and don'ts, how to hook it up, set it up, so you'll be ready to go, walk out and be able to put it on whatever animal that you're milking. So just assuming that the box just came in, was just delivered to you through one of the mail services or UPS, we're just going to walk through the whole system. It comes in and the bag is on top. Your instructions are in there. The DVD is right into the pocket. Not only your instructions, but also we'll put in your shipping and your receipt for ordering the Ultimate Easy. We pack these very carefully so nothing gets damaged in the shipping process. These are all your parts for the Ultimate Easy, and I'll start setting them up here on the table. This is your pump. It's 110 volt. It'll plug in anywhere in the barn for you. You might need a extension cord because you have to have it a little bit away from the animal when you're milking, and we'll get into that in a little bit. This is your dairy towel, all your hoses, your air hoses. We have 2 quart bottles included into the kit. We have 2 sizes of silicone inserts. This is the large, and this is the small, the extractor tubes. I developed these 10 years ago. They're set up, they're specifically ergonomically designed to fit the bag of almost any animal. And we have the other set of silicone inserts, the small. All right, now that we have all of the parts undone or unpacked, the first thing we're going to do is we'll take the tubes out. These are the air hoses. And what we decided to do at our packing plant, when we put everything together, we decided to put these together for you. It's going to make your time go a lot quicker. The first thing we're going to do is make sure that this cap on top of this overflow bottle here is on there securely, and all the parts are tight, because this is a vacuum unit, so it's very, very critical that it has to be on there tight. We're going to hook up the end of this extension hose. It's about 6 to 8 feet long. It's onto your tubes. The next thing we're going to do is take the caps off the bottles. The very next thing we're going to do is screw on the extractor tubes. Now, when you screw these on, they don't need to be cranked down real tight, just so they're on there good and snug. That'll be sufficient. The very next thing we're going to do, you need to ascertain what size are the teats that you're milking. If you're milking a first-time calving Jersey, for instance, or a Dexter, you're probably going to want to use the small ones. So at this point, and if you've got larger teats on your animals, you might want to use the larger one. Right now I'm going to put the larger ones in. They just set down on top of the extractor tube. It's very important. Then push the top down. These are specifically designed for our Utterly Easy pump and also the Ultimate Easy. And they go right down over the top like that. The very next thing we're going to do then is hook the air hoses up to each one of these. And they just go on to the extractor tube right there on the end, and that's all there is to it. Now, on one of these, we have a shut-off valve on there. All you have to do is just go ahead and push it down, push it forward, it releases it. At some point, and for new people doing it, you may want to go ahead and start milking one teat at a time. If you do that, shut off the one. It don't matter if you got it on the right or left, you can put it on wherever you would like to, and then use the other one, and that shuts the airflow off on this one. But if you do that, always make sure you turn it back on before you start using it again. Now, our very next step, we want to make sure, because this is a vacuum unit, that everything is set and sealed. I'm going to turn on the power on the unit now. This is very critical. Do not go over 12.5 inches of mercury on the vacuum. And that's what's relegated, it's what we recommend for the cows, and only 11 for the sheep and the goats. We've used this unit for over 4 years now, and that's what's recommended, and I've got it in my, be sure and read through on our instructional pamphlet. It tells all about it in here. Not only that, you're going to get that free DVD with your Ultimate Easy. Be sure and watch that before you start operating the unit. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn on this, and I'm going to have Patrick go ahead and help me. We're going to I'll just have him put his hands over the top of this, and I'll show you how to regulate the vacuum and set the vacuum on this. This is your regulator right here, and this is how you set it. So I'm going to turn the machine on now. The switch is right over here on your left by your electrical cord. Now, Patrick, if you'll just go ahead and put a hand right palm over the top of it. We have a red arrow set on here, and that's set right at 12.5 vacuum. And that's where you go ahead and control it and set it at. Just lift both hands up now. Just lift them straight up. See, you're hooked right on there. Now, we want it on 11 for the sheep and the goats. So we just simply turn it back to 11. Do the same thing. Because once that vacuum's locked, it's going to stay there. Okay, thank you. One other thing that I'd like to bring up right at this moment, have a little olive oil. And apply a little olive oil onto your hand and just rub it onto the teats. Rub your hands, and don't take much, just a little bit, put it on there. And what that does, it just helps it go back on and onto the teats when you reset the bottles back on there after you've dumped them out. You're going to get to see all of this on the videos, because we're going to do the cows, the goats, and the sheep. And I recommend that you highly watch the video for all of the animals, because you're going to learn something. Somebody's going to be doing something a little bit different, but it's all the same. Please do not run this machine over 12.5 inches of mercury, and on the cows, and 11 on the sheep and goats. Very critical. So I think, having said that now, your next step would be, after you get everything set up, you just open up your bag. This is a canvas bag. We put a special liner on the bottom of it so it won't leak through and leak on any manure or urine or anything else that you might run into out there in the barn. So all you have to do at this point is just go ahead, and you can leave it all hooked up if you wish. Just simply pick up the milker, set it right inside of the bag, add your bottles to it, and if you have a milking bucket or anything else, you're off and away out to the barn. And so now we're going to go right into the actual milking of it. Thank you very much.